Hello, welcome to Mix Training. This is Varomix, and today is gonna be part 1 of our custom project viewer in Houdini. Alright, so what we're gonna do today is this panel right here. You can see this is a custom panel for us. We have a few other panels, but this is gonna show all the scenes you have in your project at this moment. You can see for this to work, you have to set your project. If you use the new project function from Houdini and create a project, or just set the project to whatever folder you have your scenes, like let's say I have scenes here. We open that one and I refresh, just lists all the scenes I have there. And if I open another project, let's say this one, and I refresh, you can see now there's a bunch of other scenes. And you open another one like this one, you can see there's another set of scenes. Even if I double click on this, guys, I can open the scene. You can see the scene is being opened. It's opening there. You can see the scene is open. I can open another scene from here. And it's opening. There we go. That's another scene. And so you can see this is going to be the start of a new custom panel that we're going to build for Houdini. And this is the code right here that we need. So it's just pretty simple that what we're going to do today, but it's going to be really helpful. So let me switch to the other project where I have a lot more scenes. And let's start writing this from scratch. So let me close this guy. So for this, if you don't have that panel there, which is the default, let me just close this scene. I want to save it and create this. Go to new panel tab, go to Python panel here, and by default you might have the example of my calendar. It won't be done. This is what the result of the example that it's there. But if you can go out, you may go away and do it so you can get your feet wet on this. But for now, just go to this icon here, this gear icon at the top, edit interface, and then here we can create a new interface. So let's create a new one. Let's call it Prog Viewer. And here the name is gonna be Project Viewer. Let's call it 2 because I have another one. And for the icon, we can click here on the high icon here, navigate there, and we can see some buttons here inside. See, there's all the Houdini icons there. You can get whatever you want. Let's put this pencil there and get it there. Now we can just apply this, and now we have it there. Sorry for that. And we can see if in this drop down it's not there yet. Let's go here to the toolbar menu, second tab, and select this one, push this arrow to the other side. Now here apply. Now it should be there. You can see it's there. This is the other one. This is the new one. Select it, and this is what we have so far. All right. So we're creating this interface with this code. You can read that code, those notes if you need to. For now, if you need if you're new to Python, please go and see our Python introduction video. It's pretty good, and it will get you, it will give you the basics for this. So now we're just creating a widget, which is a label, and it's printing "Hello World." If you're wondering, this is basically using PySide on the backend. So if you know PySide, this is just simple stuff. Alright, so what we're gonna do first, let's say we get the current project that we are in right now. So remember, you have to be, you need to have your job variable here set. You can see there's mine set to this path, and this is what we should be printing by the end of the first step. And you get that, you set that by doing the set project function there in your project manager. This should be, recent project should be here for you. I just moved it over here. Alright, so let's print here. Let's create a print function, And to print the project, there is just a really useful function in Houdini, who.getEnv. So we're gonna get an environment variable, and we can just say we need that job variable that we already saw there, and we can set apply, and we can see there's printing that. This is exactly grabbing this value from here. This is the job variable that we are referring to, and it's printing this value, right? So when this guy changes to something else, let's say the fireman, apply again, just refresh here, it's printing now the other path. Now let's put this here to the widget here. So this just save this to a variable, just call it proj, and put proj and put an equal sign there. Apply. No, don't apply yet. Let's put the variable here, proj, and apply. Now we can see it here. Again, if we change the project and refresh here, it will show us the new path. Cool. So now we have the project variable there. Now let's get all the files from that variable. So you can see there's missing a backslash, a forward slash at the end. So let's just add it here by put a plus and adding that, so it prints the full path with the backslash or forward slash at the very end. So that will be useful when we try to add the file name to this. Let's list all the let me just do this. Let's list all the files in this directory, and for that we're gonna import from the starting Houdini, from the standard Python, the import OS package, and that's gonna do, we're gonna do a loop for file. We're gonna store the result of this loop in file, and we're gonna use the OS module. We're gonna list a directory. You can see the function is there, and the directory is gonna be the project directory that we just created up here. So we're gonna list everything that is in that directory one by one, and then I'm gonna say just give me Houdini files. I don't want any files that should be there like textures or something else. I don't want those. I just want files that end with they are Houdini files. So just for this file, just gonna use the function that it ends with, and it's gonna be give me the files that ends with $hip. If you're using Houdini Indie or Houdini Apprentice, just change this to your extension that you're using, and once that is accomplished, or this is true, if the file ends with this extension, let's add it to somewhere. We could print them. Let's print file for now, and hit apply. Now you can see here in my Python shell, there's all the list of files that are in that folder. So let's create a list and put them into the window here. Let's go up here and create a list widget. I'm gonna call it list widget, and it's gonna be a Qt widget, and it's gonna be a Q list widget. That's the creation of the list. Now here, instead of printing that, I'm gonna add it to the list. So list widget has a function that's called add item. So I'm gonna add an item to that, and it's gonna be the file. So instead of printing them here, I'm gonna add this to the list. So let's try that. Apply. Now we are not seeing anything here because here we are returning this widget, which is just a label. Now let's try to return this list widget instead, and hit apply, and now we have a huge list. That's awesome. We can actually click on them. You can see I can drag, maybe double click on them, but they are doing nothing right now. It's just a big list. So we can actually test. Let's see if we switch another project and refresh, and that is working. We already have a really cool functional widget here. All right, cool. So now let's do something with the list when you double click to these items. So let's go down here and let's just put a note here so we know what we're doing. Let's connect list items to function. So let's see, let's put the name of the list widget and say double click. This is the function that's gonna connect them. Double click, this is the action, and then we say connect to let's say open scene. That's gonna be the name of the function. So this is the widget, this is the action, double clicking, and then we're connecting that to this function that right now it doesn't exist. So let's create it. So to go to def open scene. So again, all this is explained in the intro to Python. Please go see that if you don't know what I'm talking about. So let's just print something, opening heap file. For now, we're just gonna be, whenever this function is run, I'm just gonna print that. So let's hit apply and double click here, and there's a bunch of stuff here. Let me just press enter a few times. So there we go, it's printing open file whenever I double click on any of these items. So now, but how it's the opening scene function is gonna know which one of these guys did I clicked on. So for that, we're gonna pass an item, just put item here into the function, and then we're gonna use that item. It's gonna hold a reference to whatever it was clicked. So you can see if I go here and say print item, and the data, it's in the data function actually. For this item, or the item that we're gonna be clicking, we just wanna get the data from it. So just hit apply again and double click on it, and there we go, we have the file name there. You can see every time I click on another file, I get the file name, complete file name, which is exactly what we need. Alright, so now what we're gonna do here is just create a variable. It's gonna call heap file, which is gonna be the full name of the file, and this is gonna be containing the project file and the data file. For this, to access this project file, which is right now in this function, I can't have access to it here, so we're gonna just cut it, put it up here, and make it global. So the project is very important, so it's good that we have it as a global variable. It's gonna be available for any function here. So let's just put a project here plus the name of the data, and that's gonna be the heap file, the full path of that. So now to open the file, let's just put a open heap file. To open the file, Houdini has a function that it's in the Who module, and it's called heap file. It has a sub module, and the function it's load, and load, you just pass the full path of the file plus the name, which is again containing this. Let me just, instead of doing this, before I do that, let me comment that. Let's just print the heap file name, so you see what I'm passing there. Let's hit apply, we enter a few times here, double click, and you can see this is what the full path it's gonna be sending to the heap load function there, and that's the full path there. You can see if I select another one, it's the full path. So now let's pass that. This not printed anymore. Apply. Now let's load mix flag there, double click on it, and there we go. Now we open that file, we are seeing that file. Let's open another one, 19. I want to discard the changes, and you can see down here it's opening that file. There we go, that's another file there. So this is some of the videos that you've been seeing in this channel, of course. So there we go, that's another file. We can change to another folder or another another project, sorry, refresh this, and let's click on any of these ones, and you can see it starts to open the scene. And it's starting, it's taking a little bit, but it's opening the scene. There you go, it's opening the scene. So there you go, we created a really functional widget that we can use for managing our projects and opening any scene we have in that project. Or you can just set the file path to whatever folder, and it is gonna list any files or heap files that you have in that folder. Alright guys, this is gonna be a continuing series, and next week we're gonna do part 2 of this until we get a fully cool custom tool that we can use for managing our projects, maybe our textures and all that stuff. If you have any comments or you want to see specific features for this tool, let me know in the comments so I can integrate any of the best ideas that you have there, and you can implement, of course, your own as you see fit. Alright guys, hope you learned a lot from this one. I know I love Python and I love doing tools like this one, and I hope you enjoyed this video as well as I did. Alright guys, let's keep learning together, and I'll see you in the next one.